One of the key features in DNS is the fact that if a specific DNS server does not know a record, it will forward that request onto another server that might better know the record. And this process of forwarding to additional servers is one of the ways that DNS is able to find things throughout the entire world. In this activity, we are going to configure forwarders for one of our servers to talk to the other server so we can then find all the necessary records. Let's check this out. Here I am on server SA1 and server DC1. Where we left off, SA1, we had just created a secondary zone on SA1, and I'm going to go ahead and delete that. So just right click AZ800 and delete. And yes. While I'm here, I'm actually going to go to View Advanced, right click Cached Lookups and say Clear Cache. Then go ahead and remove the advanced option. And then from a PowerShell prompt, let me clear my screen. I will do an ipconfig/flushdns to clear the local cache. And then lastly, let's go ahead and see if server SA1 can find records from server DC1. So nslookup server dc1.az800.corp. And as we can see, this fails, a non-existent domain. So I'm asking the local machine for a record for the az800.corp, and it can't find it. Even though the record exists right here, this machine, SA1, does not yet know where that is. So we can configure a forwarder on SA1 to talk to DC1. Back into DNS Manager, I'm going to scroll down here to conditional forwarders, and we're going to start by creating a conditional forwarder. So right click and new, and the domain that I want to forward for is the az800.corp domain. If I get a request for an az800.corp domain record, forward that to the 10.99.0.220 server. Again, this record or this warning will self-resolve shortly, so I'll go ahead and say OK. Now that I have a conditional forwarder, and I go back to PowerShell and I just simply up arrow, my nslookup should work because my server that I'm talking to forwarded that request to a different server to then answer the results. Yay! Conditional forwarders for the win. Let's go ahead and remove that conditional forwarder, and we'll do this through PowerShell just by simply saying remove -DNS server zone. There we go. And then az800.corp. And yes to confirm. If I look back into DNS, my conditional forwarder, and refresh, it is now gone. Sweet. If I go up arrow a couple of times and I do my nslookup again, this will probably still work. Yes, because of the DNS caching. So one of the things I want to do is I want to clear the DNS cache off of the DNS server. And for that, I'll use the clear-DNS server cache command. And yes. If I up arrow 2 times and do an nslookup now, it should now be forgotten. And at this point, we have removed the forwarder and are no longer able to find the az800.corp domain. The next option, instead of a conditional forwarder, is just a forwarder altogether. Conditional forwarder only forwarded in that case if it was something for the az800.corp domain. A full forwarder will forward all requests to a future server. So for that, add -DNS server forwarder. And 10.99.0.220. So any record that server SA does not know about, it will send to server DC1. Now, when I up arrow 2 times to get back to maybe 3 times to do my NSLOOKUP command, it should. Add DNS server forwarder 10.99.0.220. All right, I had to pause the video there for a second to see why my NSLOOKUP command was not working up here. And then I read through the instructions and it said, hey, try it several times. If it still doesn't work, in DNS Manager, right-click Server SA1, All Tasks, and then Restart. And this restarts DNS on Server SA1. Once I did that, my NSLOOKUP command began to work. It was just a matter of waiting and kind of kicking it in the rear to get it going. The command that we did there with the add DNS server forwarder, if I right click server SA1 and go to properties, on the forwarders tab, we will see that it's the IP address we're forwarding to right now. And basically any DNS request that SA1 does not know about will get forwarded to the .220 IP address there. If I wanted, I can click edit and then delete, but I'm going to actually do that through PowerShell. So let's cancel that. And then we will do a remove -DNS server forwarder command 10.99.0.220 and yes. And now when I come back here, let me refresh and then check server SA1 properties, forwarders, and it is now gone. So we have added forwarders, added conditional forwarders, and then removed both forwarders and conditional forwarders.